This is my second video where I teach complete beginners how to day trade from the bottom and make your way up. Now, I don't want to talk too much this video. I'm going to get straight into it. The topic of this video is derivatives. So basically, derivatives are the instruments that we use to trade these different asset classes. So in this specific video, I'm going to be talking about three main derivatives. One being contracts for difference, or CFDs. Two, futures. And three, I won't get it into it as much, but I will give you guys a basic definition of what options are. Now, as you may know, if you watched the other video, you would know that I am using Google for answers to these questions, just so the average Joe knows what they should search up when looking for answers to these questions, and just so you know that you don't have to go through endless YouTube videos and all of this just to learn how to trade. You could simply search up, and nowadays Google search engines and their AIs will give you a direct answer to most of your questions. Now, before I start getting into the textbook definitions of what CFDs, futures, and options are, I want to show you visually first on charts, on TradingView, what it is. So if you've already taken the initiative and open up the free course that I have down in the description, then you probably already know what CFDs, futures, and options are, and it makes explaining this chart a lot easier. But if you haven't, I'm going to get to it anyway. I'm going to give you the descriptions right after this. Now, if you look to my right, I kind of already organized it. At the top, you can see my CFDs over here. You can see my futures, and you can see my options. So I have the S&P 500 CFD price. I have the NASDAQ 100 US CFD spot price. So I should say it's a CFD spot price. I have the Dow Jones CFD spot price. If you're here in Toronto, you know the Toronto Stock Exchange stock price. I'm pretty sure this is futures, however. And then down here, I have my futures S&P price, futures NASDAQ price, and futures Dow Jones price. At the bottom, you'll find my S&P 500 ETF trust, so that's the options price, and then QQQ, again, what we use to trade the NASDAQ 100 options. Now, you might be wondering why these three have different values. I'm gonna say the spot price, the CFD spot price, that's, I'm gonna say the regular price. That's the general price that we all use to judge the current price of a given asset, right? The futures price is what we anticipate the future price to be at a given expiry date. So typically expiries every 3-4 months. And at the end of expiry, what do we expect the price of this given asset to be? That's what the futures price judges. And the options price typically is 1/10 of the CFD price. So it could be of the CFD spot price. So it could be a little bit confusing, but like I said, if you go into that little trading manual, my little trading course, free by the way, in the description, explains all of this one by one in depth for you. So I highly recommend that you check that out and read it along as you go through these videos and learn. Again, it is hard for me to make these videos and record for you guys. So if you have any questions, you can always go back to the free Facebook group that is also in the description and ask any questions under the post. I will gladly answer in depth fully for anybody to understand. So it is kind of 12 o'clock here in Toronto, Canada. I do want to finish up this video and go to bed. So I'm going to get into descriptions of the different derivatives, what I like to call these different instruments that we use to trade these different assets, and just break it down for you guys to understand using, of course, Google. Now, what are CFDs? That's the first question of the day today. I only got 4 questions as you hit the top. What is CFDs? Now, CFD trading is a financial contract used to speculate on asset prices without owning them. Key concepts include derivatives, leverage, and market direction. So, of course, as always, like I said, you go down to the course, you'll find information on that there. I'm going to stop here. You can read over if you want. Of course, search up if you like for yourself. There's that. Number 2, you have what is futures trading. Now, futures in trading are standardized legal contracts to buy or sell an asset at a set price on a specific date in the future. That's very important right there. That's the key behind what futures trading is. Key features include leverage via margin. So leverage would be borrowing money or borrowing margin, borrowing capital to then place bigger positions on our trades. If you have any questions on that, on how leverage or margin works, like I said, Facebook group, I got you there. Expiration dates and standardized contracts. They trade on regulated exchanges like the CME group. There's also COMEX, there's the NYMEX, and there's one more, can't remember right now, but yeah, you get it. You can read over here what the different core concepts and how they work. Number three, I'm keeping it nice and simple straight up today, This video, nice, easy, simple. I really want to get to the actual trading, the live trading, and that side of things. So I'm really trying to go over the beginner side a little bit quicker, but I'm starting from the bottom up, just so you have a blueprint of where you should start and what you should learn, how you should go about learning how to trade. Number three, like I said, I'm not going to get too deep into what options trading is. I do trade options myself, but I feel like that takes experience and time. And if you are a beginner in the space, you have no business learning about options or what they are, how they work, in my opinion. But yeah, quick little breakdown by definition. Options trading is the buying and selling of contracts that give you the right but not the obligation to buy or sell an underlying asset like a stock at a set price before a specific date. Now, I always hate explaining that to another person. Oh my God, it's actually so annoying. I've somehow done it though I'm not going to do it right now. If you want to pause and read, that's there for you. Simple as that. Now, right here, I think I already explained this though, why futures and CFD charts are different. But again, if you want to pause this video, this is here for you. You can also go down to the course, like I said, multiple times over the last two videos to help you, because I really want to emphasize that, because it is a beautiful trading manual that I personally did not use when I first started trading, but as I developed throughout my training journey, I did come back to this manual to then come brush up on certain concepts. And whenever it came to learning about a new indicator or learning about a new strategy or how I should think or perspective related to it, I always went back to that course, to that little free manual I'm putting out there just for you guys to use. But I'm gonna end this video here, nice, simple, easy. What CFDs trading is, what futures trading is, what options trading is, and how they look like on trading view. I'm gonna keep it nice and simple so we can move on, move quick, take it easy. I'm gonna catch you on the next one.